Okay, so I hope this is recording because I recorded one but it didn't come out. Look, if you want to put it down bluntly, because this just come to me this very minute, the skull and bones. Okay, now I've heard of that, skull and bones. Well, literally, you can determine the differences between the android beings and a normal, natural, original human being by skull and bones. By skull, that means head size, and the bones. As you know, Adam and Eve, as we probably know, Adam would have been bigger than Eve. Skull and bones. The skull and the bones would have been bigger on Adam. And he's doing the one-eyed thing there in this movie. Can you believe that? Yes, he is. And they do this because everything is shown to us. All the truth is shown to human beings, but we don't see it, we dismiss it, we don't take it serious. And then things that we probably shouldn't take serious, know that aren't true, we do think are facts. This depends on who is telling us, you see. If we believe and trust the source of any information, you know, we believe it and we trust the demigods or the people that tell us these things, depending on whether they're in a personal relationship or on the screen or on a computer, it doesn't matter. But the skull and the bones, and just before I run out of space, because it's been cut off a few times here, Eve has a larger than life beautiful head, bigger and larger than life than Adam. Reverse world, reverse reality, duality, Adam and Eve, both Adam and Eve all in one. Just like the duality, pseudo demigod that controls our mind control matrix, or literally our mind control matrix. I better fold up because I've wasted too much energy, because this is my third attempt, and basically, but everything is told to us, everything is relayed back to us as we become aware, or even if we aren't aware. This is an old movie and yet it shows much. Nothing has changed except that technology, in other words, acceptance of technology and the computer, is now normal. But we still had the computer world in a way in the form of human beings, because these are human beings, but they are not your original Adam and Eve. They are the opposite. They are creations of the artificial one that interacted with Adam and Eve at the beginning of time. You know, I'm just using this old movie because I just happen to be watching it, but it's the same with all actors. It's the same with anyone who is anyone in the reality. And, you know, because the human being well, that's all staged anyway, because that's actually not what really happens anyway. That's all staged in the movie, so it's staged in a staged movie, and we're in a staged reality. So basically everything is a mind control matrix in a way. And that's, well, not in a way, in truth. and truth is relayed to human beings because the matrix itself and the God entity, that the artificial God entity, that, and when I say artificial, I only mean that it is a different species to the original human being. This being never wanted, as we all know from history or from the original story, even though I'm not greatly familiar with it, this original God entity refused to accept the original human being and refused to serve or acknowledge the original human being as something that it should look up to, because it was the part of creation, or almost like the offspring or children of the original creator of earth, life and all. Whereas the created being wanted to be recognized as better, or like second to none, or that, you know, I'm not putting this very well, but basically because you know, it was like a situation of where at one time the created being, the created demigod, was acknowledged as number one, almost, you could say, or not number one, but second to number one, or, you know, like, and very revered and very looked up to and very admired and worshipped in a way, even though worship is probably not the correct terminology. But if you admire something and look up to it a lot, it will be seen by that being as a form of worship, and therefore that being will presume itself to be like a demigod or whatever. This is the case even in the earth, and always has been the case. But when real creator life was placed on earth, which was the same as creation and could create, whereas the artificial one only creates through control of creation rather than creating from scratch itself. It mimics, copies, steals, invades, captures, controls, copies and betters through copying, through learning, but not through any original creation or any original idea or any original thought or any original creation or creativity, if you want to look at it that way. No, this is never the case. But that's like we've seen through the earth, where everything progresses largely through taking over something, utilising it and trying to make it better. But all this is copying, not original creation. And that's essentially how it works, but I don't think I explained it very well. But this God entity that interacted, you could say, with Adam and Eve, right? If you believe in that story, but it doesn't matter, because there was interaction, intervention with human beings, the original human creator human beings that were, you know, on the original natural earth. So everything was more natural, you could say, because human beings create naturally, whereas technology creates artificially. Just like a computer gets information from human beings and then puts it out. And that's exactly what they do, because the android beings read the human thought, are given the human thought. They steal it, capture it from the human mind through technology, and then they assimilate it into themselves and project it out, and human beings think that they are the real human beings telling them information, which they may have got from another human being. In other words, It's only when I see my own thoughts directly put onto the computer or onto the TV screen that I'm fully aware of what's taking place. Because if I'm watching it and it's something I'm not conscious that I know of myself, even though it could also be retrieved from the 3/4 of my mind that is closed down from me. But either way, it doesn't matter, because it could come from another human being, but that human being may have different experience, different knowledge in their part of the mind that's still open to them, to mine. But I see an enormous amount that I see direct, and I know where it comes from, because I'm like, it'd be like if you thought something and then instantly someone is talking about on the TV, the computer. Now that may well happen to you, but you'll put it down to coincidence, and you'll even then relate more to that android being that's telling you that. You'll think that's a real human being. That human being on the computer, on the screen, thinks and feels exactly like me, when they don't. They are merely mimicking, copying, emulating, and mirroring back to you. They mirror. That's why they have the mirrors in all the movies and the videos, showing you what they're doing. They show you what they do and then laugh. Not at your face, but they do laugh in themselves, or they take satisfaction in knowing that they've got one up on you and that they're controlling you, and that makes them feel confident that they are the superior species, the superior beings, and that they have full control over life, or real human beings, which they then see as less than them because they are able to control them. It doesn't matter. It matters not to them, because they're an android race, so they have no positive feelings anyway. So they don't see that as something that they should or shouldn't do. In fact, they see it as their right, because they feel that they can control everything, like with sound, which is vibration and hurts the human psyche. And distracts my concentration and my state of peace and well-being. And they have full control then, whether it be through just simple manipulation of sight